Have you ever been completely silent? But inside, it feels like you're screaming? Like your soul is shouting into a void no one else can hear? You smile when expected. You nod when you should. You play your part. But beneath the surface, there's a storm tearing everything apart. You're trapped in a war no one sees. A war waged in your own mind, where the enemy wears your face, and the battlefield is your thoughts. Hey Stoic friends! Welcome back to Kill Your Negative Thinking, Stoic Lifestyle. Today's video is not for those who pretend to be okay. It's for the ones who are done pretending, the ones who've been quietly drowning, and are ready to fight back. There are days when you don't say a word, but your silence, it echoes louder than a scream. You walk through the world with a composed face, maybe even a smile, but inside, chaos claws at your chest. Your mind becomes a merciless beast, dragging you by a leash through memories you wish you could forget. It throws daggers of shame, plays guilt like a broken record. It replays every failure, every betrayal, every missed opportunity, like a sick film you can't turn off. And somewhere along the way, you started believing it. You believed the voice that told you, you're not enough, you're stuck, you'll never escape this hole. You wake up tired. You sit in silence. But your thoughts scream. They whisper things you're afraid to admit. You're too late in life. You've messed up too much. Your best days are behind you. And the harder you fight those thoughts, the deeper you sink. This isn't just anxiety. This isn't just overthinking. This is mental warfare. And yet, the world doesn't see it. They see the mask. They see you functioning. They see you managing. But they don't see you lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, while your mind spins like a hurricane. They don't hear that inner voice. The one that won't shut up. The one that says, you're a burden. You're a failure. You're a ghost in your own life. You've smiled through breakdowns. You've held yourself together with invisible thread. You've stood in front of the world, while quietly falling apart behind the scenes. But listen, this space isn't for people pretending to be okay. It's for you, the one who's tired. The one who's been pushed to the edge by thoughts you never invited. The one who's been screaming inside, while wearing a smile. If you're still here, then you're ready. And in page 2, we'll begin the real work, breaking down the lies, reclaiming your mind, and learning how to kill your negative thinking, one breath at a time. Right pointing finger emoji. Let's take that step together. And now, if you're still here, then maybe, just maybe, you're one of the few who's done pretending. One of the few ready to tear off the mask and step into the storm. Because this isn't just about sadness. This is about emotional chains, the kind people wear like armor. Silent, heavy, invisible to others, but suffocating to carry. This is for those who scream in silence and ache in peace. You walk through life holding everything together, but inside, your spirit is worn thin. The weight doesn't always look like suffering, it often looks like composure. And still, you carry it. Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But let me ask you something. How do you find that power? When your own mind feels like an ambush. When every memory that surfaces feels like a rope tightening around your chest. When every worry, every past failure, every future fear creeps in like shadows whispering lies in your ear. You don't run. You don't hide. You don't numb yourself with fake smiles and empty distractions. No, you step into the storm. Because that is what Stoicism is. It's not toxic positivity. It's not hollow mantras that promise everything will be fine. It's not about closing your eyes and hoping the storm passes. It's war. Cold, clear, real. It's about standing at the center of your own battlefield, staring the chaos in the eye and saying, I will not be ruled by ghosts. I will not be dragged down by lies. I will not die with my own hands around my throat. That's the essence of Stoicism. It doesn't sugarcoat pain, it sharpens you through it. It teaches you to walk straight into the fire, not to escape it, but to be forged by it. So no, This isn't just another video to scroll past. This is war medicine. This is mental armor. This is a battle cry for those who've been prisoners in their own skulls for far too long. We're not sitting around, waiting for peace to find us. We're going out to hunt it. We're not dodging the storm, we're tearing through it with eyes wide open, breath steady, mind alert. And by the time this journey ends, that voice in your head, the one that lies to you, haunts you, and tells you you're not enough, it'll be exposed. You'll realize it was never the truth. It was just noise, just fear, wearing your voice. So don't blink, don't skip, don't look away. If this message resonates, hit like, comment, and subscribe right now, because someone, maybe even someone you don't know, is standing at the edge. And this might be the one message that pulls them back. And when you're ready, drop this in the comments. I refuse to be ruled by fear. Let the world see you're not backing down. So now, if you're still with me, say it out loud or whisper it to yourself. I am done being a slave to my own thoughts. I will no longer be a prisoner of my own mind. This is where the chains begin to break. This is where the lies go up in flames. This is the place where we rebuild, not as victims, but as a force. So let's get into it. Number 1, your mind is not a mirror. It's a weapon. At some point on the harsh, winding road of life, someone handed you a soft lie wrapped in gentle words, that your mind is just a reflection, a mirror, that it simply echoes what happens around you, your environment, your emotions, your pain, your circumstances. But that idea isn't just wrong. It's dangerous, because your mind doesn't passively reflect the world. It bends it, it colors it, it twists what's real into something distorted. Your mind takes every scar from your past, every wound from childhood, every betrayal, every failure, and it grinds them into a lens, a cracked, fogged lens. And then it forces you to see through it. You no longer see the world as it is. You see it as your pain remembers it. You see yourself not as you are, but as your worst days defined you. And through that broken glass, you begin to mistake illusion for truth. You start thinking, I'm weak, I'm stuck, something's broken in me. But none of that is real. It's not truth. It's a trap. And the cruelest part? The trap was set by your own mind. You think the enemy is out there, that it's the world holding you back, the people, the circumstances, the economy, the trauma. But wake up, the most brutal battlefield is not out there. It's in here, behind your eyes, inside your skull. That's where the war rages. And if you're not armed, you're already losing. How many times have you imagined the worst possible outcome, played out entire catastrophes in your head, that never even existed? How many times have you destroyed your confidence, doubted your worth, and buried your potential, long before the world had a chance to? How many dreams have you laid to rest, not because someone stood in your way, but because a single quiet thought whispered, you're not ready, you'll fail, you don't belong? It's not the world that's defeating you, it's the voice inside, that you've been listening to for far too long. In the last chapter, we uncovered the battlefield hiding inside your head. But now, let's meet the voice that's been running the war behind the curtain. Because here's the truth. That voice doesn't scream. It slithers. It doesn't show up with fireworks and drama. It waits. It waits until 3 a.m. when the world is silent and you're most vulnerable. Then it slips into your chest like a snake and starts feeding on your doubts, your fears, your regrets, like it owns you. And the most heartbreaking part? You believed it. You didn't just hear it. You welcomed it. You didn't just tolerate it. You trusted it. You bought into your own sabotage like it was gospel. You handed your mind the blade and told it exactly where to cut. That's not just insecurity. That's not simple self-doubt. That is mental treason. Because your thoughts, they're not harmless. They're loaded weapons. Every negative loop in your head is a bullet, chambered and ready to fire. And the longer you let those loops run wild, unchecked, unchallenged, the more you bleed and don't even know it. You walk around smiling. You perform. You function. You say, I'm fine. But inside, your thoughts are ripping holes through your identity. your confidence, your future. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." So ask yourself, what color are you painting your soul with? Fear, regret, jealousy, bitterness? Look around you. This life you're living, it's not random. It's being painted by the palette inside your mind. And if you want a different reality, you have to burn the damn palette. No more mirrors. No more passive reflection. No more soft edges. It's time to take that soft, fragile mind and forge it in fire. Not soft, not safe, not positive vibes only. What we're after is weaponized clarity, surgical precision, cold, calm dominance. That's what Stoicism trains you for. Not for comfort, but for control. So next time that voice whispers, "You're behind," you punch back with, "I'm preparing." When it hisses, "You're not enough," you answer, "I haven't even started." You don't negotiate with lies. You don't argue with shame. You overwrite it. Not with fantasy. Not with denial, but with purpose. With repetition. With relentless force. The kind of force that rips the weakness out of your voice, and replaces it with fire in your gut and steel in your spine. You don't beg your mind to help you. You grab it by the throat and drag it into discipline. Because this world, it doesn't pause just because you feel stuck. Life keeps spinning. It keeps punching. And if your mind is still stuck reflecting pain instead of slicing through it, you'll drown in your own thoughts. But if you train it, day by day, hour by hour, if you hammer it into shape like the weaponsmith of your own destiny, then you stop reacting to life, and start commanding it. You stop begging your thoughts to be kind, and start making them kneel to your vision. This isn't a dream. This is warfare. And you are the one holding the hammer. We've said it before, your mind is not your enemy, but if left untrained, it becomes the sharpest weapon against you. So now say it with your chest. Say it like your life depends on it. My mind is my weapon. I will train it. Not fear it. But don't just say it. Bleed it. Live it. Because when your mind finally learns to obey you, the world will follow. Number 2, emotional pain isn't proof. It's a message. That ache in your chest, that burn in your stomach, the sudden sting that hits when you think about her, about him, about that moment you wish you could rewind, that sharp twist that feels like acid sliding through your veins. That's not weakness. That's not a sign that you're broken or flawed. It's not some divine punishment for being too sensitive. No, that's your soul, slamming its fists against the walls you've built inside yourself. Walls of denial. Walls of avoidance. Walls you thought would protect you, but only ended up trapping the truth. That pain, it's not here to destroy you. It's here to wake you up. But what do? We treat pain like poison, like something we must avoid, drown out, sedate. We numb it with fake smiles. We drown it in endless scrolling. We suffocate it with shallow hookups, fake laughter, overwork, or anything loud enough to distract us from that inner whisper. But no matter how deep you bury it, it knows where you sleep, it knows your patterns, it knows your name, and it waits in the shadows, watching for the exact moment your guard slips, so it can crawl right back in. You think you're being punished. You think heartbreak is karma. You think pain is the enemy. But that ache in your chest, that weight on your soul, it's your heart handing you a blueprint. Pain is not a curse, it's an architect. It's a brutal, honest, merciless teacher. But if, and only if, you have the courage to sit with it, to listen to it, it will show you exactly where the rot is. It'll point out the lies you've told yourself, the places where you bent who you are just to keep someone around, the dream you've buried alive, the boundaries you allowed to be broken. But instead of learning, we lie. We smile and nod. We say, "I'm fine, it's nothing, I'm over it." But your hands still shake when her name lights up your phone. Your throat still tightens when someone asks about the dream you quietly abandoned. And your silence, it screams louder than any breakdown ever could. Marcus Aurelius didn't write about pain like some philosopher lounging in a robe under moonlight. He wrote from the trenches, from the battlefield, from real suffering. He said, "The pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke. That means your freedom starts not when pain disappears, but when you take back control over what it means. In the last chapter, we realized pain isn't here to punish, it's here to deliver a message. Now the question is, will you run from that message, or confront it head on? Because here's the truth no one says out loud. You hold the blade. You decide if pain cuts you open or carves you into something sharper. But most people, they don't fight back. They let pain speak for them. They let pain become the narrator of their story. They let heartbreak write the script. They wear rejection like it's their last name. They adopt the identity of the wound. And slowly, they stop being a person, and start living as a scar. But if you've got even a flicker of fire left in you, even a whisper of defiance, then you don't let pain define you. You don't let it twist your story into a tragedy. You stare it down, you grab it by the throat, and you rip the message out of its mouth. Ask yourself, what is this agony trying to tell me? What truth have I ignored for too long? What version of myself have I outgrown, but keep dragging behind like a corpse? Because that's the code hidden in the suffering. That ache you feel, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a signal that something inside you has already died. A former version of you that no longer fits. But you haven't let go. And the only reason it still hurts, is because you're still trying to carry the corpse. So let it burn. Feel it, all of it, every inch of that pain. Let it set your bones on fire. Let it bring you to your knees if it must. But don't stay there. Stand up, eyes bloodshot, hands trembling, heart cracked wide open, and say to that pain, thank you for the lesson. Now get the hell out of my way. Because you are not your damage. You are not the one who got left. You are not the failure. You are not the almost. You are not the forgotten. You are the fire that survived all of it. And that makes you lethal. Fire emoji. So if you've ever clawed your way out of emotional hell, if you've ever screamed in silence and still kept walking, drop this in the comments. My pain didn't break me. It built me. And if your heart still hurts, good. That means it still works. It means you still have something left to fight for. Number 3, kill the inner narrator that keeps you small. Because trust me, there's a voice inside your head. And it doesn't sleep. It's there before your eyes open each morning. It doesn't scream. It whispers. But every word? Sharp. Precise. Designed to slice. It waits for moments of hope, then poisons them with doubt. It doesn't just speak so. You've faced the pain. You've stood back up from the fire. Now, it's time to face the most dangerous enemy of all, the voice that sounds like you, but isn't. Because the voice that holds you back, it doesn't scream. It drips. One drop at a time. Drip, guilt. Drip, shame. Drip, weakness. It doesn't need to raise its volume. Why? Because it's patient. It's been watching you for years, quiet, coiled, studying you like prey. And every time you second-guessed yourself, every time you backed down from a moment of greatness, every time you felt your soul ready to roar, but chose silence instead, it was there, feeding, grinning, winning. You weren't born with that voice. No baby comes into this world thinking, I'm not enough. No, you built that voice in the shadows, piece by piece. From cold words that pierced your spirit, from looks that made you shrink, from laughter that turned your dreams into punchlines, from nights spent lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering, why does it always go wrong for me? What's wrong with me? You didn't choose that voice, but you fed it. With fear, with silence, with repetition. And now, it walks through your mind like it owns the damn place. That voice, that slow, venomous drip of doubt, that bitter, sarcastic narrator that mocks your every move, it's not your friend. It's not your truth. It's a liar, dressed in your tone, a thief using your memories, a parasite wearing your voice like a mask. It doesn't want progress. It wants power. And every time you hesitate, every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready. What if I fail? It grows fangs. It sinks deeper. It digs roots. You want to know where the real war is? It's not between you and the world. It's not between you and your job. It's not between you and that person who hurt you. The real war is between you and that inner leech, that saboteur, that shadow that's been scripting your downfall. In your own handwriting. You think you're lazy? No. You're being drained. You think you're broken? No. You're carrying a false identity. You think you're behind? You're not. You're stuck under a narrator that was built from moments you were never meant to carry. So what do? Burn that version. Rip it apart. Drag it into the light. Expose it. Choke it with facts. Smother it with evidence of who you really are. Because Marcus Aurelius didn't conquer armies and hold empires together by being soft on lies. He didn't sit in marble halls sipping wine waiting for someone else to fix his mind. In the last chapter, we exposed the inner saboteur, the liar wearing your voice. Now, it's time to do what must be done. Crush it. Rewrite the script. And take the pen back. So when that voice says, "You're not ready," you say, "No one starts ready." When it whispers, "You'll fail," you grin and reply, "Then I'll bleed forward." And when it mocks, "They're better than you," you raise your chin, square your jaw, and growl, "Good. Let them watch me catch up." Because this isn't about fake affirmations. This isn't about standing in the mirror chanting, "I am enough," while your life stays exactly the same. No, this is about rebuilding the narrator from the ground up. This is about killing the passive tone and replacing it with fire-breathing command. This is about becoming your own commander, not your own critic. Every time that voice shows up, treat it like a trespasser, an invader, an unwelcome ghost. Slam the mental door in its face. Get aggressive. Get precise. Get surgical. Use your actions as weapons. Every small step forward is a slap across its mouth. Every disciplined day is a bullet through its lies. Speak to yourself like a soldier. Not with sugar, but with steel. Not with softness, but with purpose. You're not here to babysit insecurities. You're here to build an unshakable core. So kill that voice. Drown it in effort. Strangle it with structure. Burn it with truth. Bury it under reps. Books. Silence. Solitude. Hunger. And heat. Break it like a thunderstorm breaks the sky. Loud. Violent. Without apology. Because that voice, it's not just your weakness, it's your cage. And you don't break cages by being polite. You break them by becoming undeniable. You don't need permission. You don't need a reason. You don't need approval. You need movement. Action is your sword. Discipline is your shield. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You are the sculptor. You are the flame. You are the force. So take the damn pen back and silence the narrator for good. Number 4, stop asking for peace in a battlefield you refuse to leave. You keep saying, "I just want peace. I just want to feel free." But then you lay your head down in the middle of a war zone. Every single night. Don't you see it in the last part? We reminded ourselves, you can't beg for peace while building a throne for chaos. But some of you are still wondering, why does peace never stay? Here's why. Because you keep asking for peace, with a front row ticket to hell and open arms. You don't really want peace. You want comfort in hell. And let's be brutally honest, hell has no exits for those who keep decorating the walls. You can't find calm in a war zone you refuse to walk away from. You can't plant serenity in soil soaked with madness and expect it to bloom. Peace doesn't grow there. It gets slaughtered. You light candles, whisper mantras, talk about healing, but you keep every door open for every demon that's ever haunted you. You read quotes about self-love while staying chained to the very people, places, and patterns that are breaking you. Don't confuse rituals with resurrection. Don't confuse daily journaling with transformation. If by lunchtime, you're still texting ghosts, you're not healing. You're hiding. You're not finding peace. You're faking it. Marcus Aurelius told us to retreat into our own souls. But you've built a nightclub in yours. And every night, you crank the volume up louder, so you don't have to hear your own heartbeat. So you don't have to listen to the truth you keep avoiding. So let me ask you, who are you trying to save? By destroying yourself. Who are you still clinging to, hoping their presence will one day feel like peace? Even though every conversation with them feels like slow death. Some people come with knives, not hugs. Some places are designed to shrink you. And some habits, those little distractions you keep calling hobbies, they're just executioners in disguise. Every time you choose to stay in those mental war zones, you surrender your crown. You trade your peace for noise, your mind for madness, your soul for shallow validation. You want to change your life? Then leave the room that's setting you on fire, even if everyone you love is still sitting inside it. You want to stop overthinking? Starve it. Cut off its oxygen. Silence the noise that feeds it. Unfollow every face that makes you feel like you're falling behind. Block the people who drained your light and then mocked you for going dim. Walk away from conversations that replay in your head like torture songs. This isn't being cold. This is being awake. This is war. And in war, mercy to the enemy is cruelty to yourself. Detachment doesn't mean you're heartless. It means you're finally building a defense. So when they call you selfish for choosing your sanity, smile, because sanity is sacred. And no one gets to rent space in your head unless they bring peace with them. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip. Let them blame, distort, twist. You've walked away. You've set fire to the battlefield. You've chosen sanity over validation. And now, you're finally home. Because you're not living for applause anymore. You're not here to perform. You've burned that stage down to ash. You don't need claps to feel complete. You don't need permission to breathe. You're not weak for walking away. You're not broken for protecting your peace. You're not selfish for building walls that guard your soul. You are a fortress now. And peace is the moat. You are no longer begging to be heard in rooms filled with noise, ego, and empty echo chambers. You are no longer bleeding just to keep others warm. Let them freeze. Let them figure it out on their own. You're done handing out your fire to people who only ever burned you with it. And once you walk, truly walk, out of those emotional war zones, you'll taste something most people never get to experience: silence that doesn't feel empty, but holy; solitude that doesn't feel lonely, but divine; stillness that isn't boring, but alive. You'll sit with yourself, and for the first time in years, you won't feel lost. You won't feel like a burden. You'll feel like you've finally come home. Because peace, it was never something the world could give you. It was a kingdom, waiting for you to reclaim it. And now, it's yours. Number 5, you're not behind. You're being forged. The most brutal, soul-crushing lie your mind ever tells you is this: you're behind. Behind in life, behind in success, behind in love. You open your feed and watch others soar. They flash their wins like polished trophies. Perfect moments, perfect couples, perfect timelines. And there you are, crawling through the mud, watching it all flash past your eyes like a cruel race you were never invited to. And slowly, you start to believe the lie. You start whispering to yourself, maybe I missed the boat. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I'll never catch up. And in that moment, you're not running your race anymore. You're trapped, paralyzed by comparison. You ask, what's wrong with me? And that quiet pain settles in, like an invisible weight, pulling you deeper into silence. You feel like the clock is ticking. You feel like you're frozen, while the whole world speeds past you. But let me stop you right there. Let me hit you with the truth. You're not behind. You're in the furnace. That heat you're feeling, that struggle, that pain, it's not your defeat. It's your forging. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius didn't spend his life watching others succeed. He wasn't sitting on the sidelines asking, how do I become a good man? He was too busy becoming one. He said, don't waste time thinking about what a good man should be. Be one. That quote wasn't philosophy for the sake of poetry. It was a command. It was fire in the last part. We shattered the lie that says you're behind. You're not. You're not behind. You're in the fire. And fire doesn't break steel. It forges it. So what does that mean for you? It means you need to stop looking sideways. Stop staring at someone else's race, their finish line, their timeline. Run your own damn race. because every second you spend comparing yourself is a second you're not investing in your own evolution. That pressure you feel, that tightness in your chest, that weight on your shoulders that never seems to lift, it's not a sign that something's wrong. It's the weight of transformation. It's your soul under construction. Every moment of frustration, every delay, every door that slams in your face, that's not life kicking you down. That's life pushing you forward. That heartbreak you thought would destroy you, that rejection that cracked you open, that failure that left you breathless, none of it was punishment. It was redirection. It was your refining fire. You are not lagging behind. You are being sharpened, molded, forged into something indestructible. The world, it's obsessed with speed, with quick wins, with overnight success and instant applause. But you're not building a trend. You're building something that outlasts the noise. You're building the kind of strength no one sees yet, the kind of resilience that survives storms, the kind of soul that stands tall when everything else has collapsed. And that's real power. You don't need the world's claps to keep walking. You don't need someone to say, "Good job, you're doing great." You don't need validation to move forward. You're not a blip on someone's radar. You're not a moment. You're a force. And forces don't wait for approval. They rise in silence and explode without warning. Transformation, real transformation. It doesn't happen in front of cameras. It doesn't happen under spotlights. It happens in the shadows, at 3 a.m. when the world is sleeping, when no one's clapping, when no one's watching. It happens when you wake up tired, but get up anyway. When you lace your shoes, open your journal, do the work, alone. When you push through. Not because someone told you to, but because your soul won't let you quit. It's in those quiet hours, when the only voice you hear is your own, whispering, "Keep going. One more step. Don't stop." And when everything inside you is screaming to quit, but you don't. That's where the real you is born, in the shadows, in the silence, in the forge. That's where you're being shaped. And here's the beautiful thing. No one sees it coming. They don't hear you grinding at 3 a.m. They don't see the tears behind the quiet. They have no idea how many nights you've bled behind the scenes. But when you rise, when you rise, they'll have no clue what hit them, because you're not waiting for the world to give you permission. You're not standing in line for approval. You're not chasing the spotlight, while the world is busy watching the next manufactured overnight success. You're building something real, something rooted. They're watching flashes. You're becoming lightning. They won't understand you. Not at first. Not until it's too late. But once you emerge from the fire, unscathed, unshaken, unstoppable, they'll have no choice but to witness the power you've built in silence. This chapter, it's not over. It's just beginning. This is where the story shifts. So stop listening to that voice in your head telling you you're behind. That's the old narrative. That's the lie. The truth, you're not behind. You're in the forge. And when the fire's done with you, when the shaping, the testing, the pressing is complete, you won't rise as a shadow of someone else's journey. You'll rise as the force no one saw coming. The storm they didn't prepare for. The name they didn't know they'd never forget. So keep pushing. Keep sharpening. Keep becoming. Because the world, it's not ready for what's about to happen. And you don't need to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You don't need the plan laid out perfectly on paper. In fact, let's be clear. Perfection is the enemy of progress. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep moving, because this right here, right now, is the turning point. This is the moment the story bends. This is where your name begins to carry weight. This is it. The moment you stop shrinking. The moment the old story ends, and the real one begins. No more letting self-doubt dictate your future. No more letting the chaos in your mind cloud the clarity that's always been yours. No more renting space to lies, guilt, fear, or shame. It's time. Time to silence the voices that have been holding you back. Time to kill the negativity that's been poisoning your soul, robbing you of peace, of purpose, of power. Today, you take it back. Today, you step into the battlefield of your mind, not as a victim, but as a warrior. You don't beg your thoughts to be kind. You train them like a soldier preparing for war. Focused, disciplined, unshakable. You stop reacting. You start commanding. You stop overthinking. You start moving. You become a stoic, anchored in the now, calm in the storm, immune to the chaos of doubt and fear. You don't run from pressure. You sharpen under it. You walk forward. No longer just existing, but living, with purpose, with conviction, with unbreakable resilience. And if this hit you, right in the gut, right in that place where truth cuts through the noise, then don't walk away unchanged. Don't let this just be another motivational video. Let it be your line in the sand. Hit that like button. Drop a comment below. Let the world know. I'm not playing small anymore. I'm not a prisoner in my own mind. I am the fire. I am the forge. Share this with someone still drowning in their thoughts, still shackled by their fears, still begging the world for peace they haven't yet given themselves. And hit subscribe, because this is no longer just a conversation. This is a call to arms, a declaration, a movement, a mission to transform lives from the inside out. And if you're ready, if you're all in, then drop this in the comments right now. I burned my old thoughts to the ground. Now my peace rises from the ashes. Feel that power? That's you, finally, reclaiming your future. You were never meant to live in chains. Not the kind others put on you, but especially not the kind you forged for yourself. So today, you choose different. You choose to kill the negative thinking, not with noise, but with discipline, not with dreams, but with daily action. You don't need perfection. You don't need permission. You just need to begin, right here, right now, because peace isn't found, it's built. From the ashes of your old thoughts, from the silence of your battles, from the fire you walked through, alone. So take a breath, stand up taller, and repeat this to yourself. I am not my fear. I am not my past. I am the force they never saw coming. This is not the end. This is your first real day forward.